So today we're going to make a fairy garden, and everyone is going to make theirs at home. It's going to turn out completely different. That's what's so nice about these. Everyone's going to put their own little touch to it. So when we make fairy gardens, we try to use a shallow container because you don't want a really deep container because the roots will grow down deep and you'll get a tall plant, and we're trying to keep these plants small. So you're going to open your bag of soil and add that, and we're using ProMix, which is a really good soilless mix. It's got peat, perlite, and vermiculite in it, and it's really good because it won't sit wet in case it's a rainy season. And we're using a container that has drainage, so this can go outside for the summer. And so we're going to start with our plants first, and you're going to you can kind of set them in there and arrange them where you want, but we're going to put little pathways and a fairy, of course, in it. So what I would recommend is something like everyone's going to get a thyme, and this is a hardy perennial. It's an herb and it's really fragrant, and I would put that at the edge because this is a creeping thyme and it's going to cascade over. So I'm going to start with that at the edge. And then I have here a little coleus tree. It's a little miniature coleus. These are all true miniatures. They're not full-size plants that are just in small pots. These are true dwarf miniatures. So I'm going to put this one over here. Okay. And I'm just putting the soil right up to the top of the soil with the plant, no deeper. And then this is a little, let's see, erodium. So this is going to have little pink flowers this summer. And this particular plant, I'm trying to see if it can be divided. I'm not going to divide it right now, but this is going to be a spreader, and it's going to spread through the container as well. So I'm putting that towards the front. And this is a little hardy geranium, tiny pink, a little miniature, and this is going to bloom all summer too. So I'm going to put this one maybe over here, okay, like this. Okay, now that I've got my plants in, I want to make some walkways and a little fence, and so I'm going to add my little fence here, maybe there, and I want to have some little walkways, so I'm going to sprinkle my gravel in to make like a little walkway here. And this is actually crushed granite. It's a little small crushed rock, so it makes a nice little pathway. So I'm going to put that in here. Okay, and then I have some larger stones that I'm going to. Okay, so first, where did I put my? Okay, so now I'm taking sphagnum moss. And I have put this in water for a few minutes first because it's easier to work with. If you work with it dry, it kind of sheds and falls all apart. So I'm just breaking this into pieces and basically just covering the soil with it, like this, just to give it like a finished look, just like when you put mulch around your flower beds at home, it gives it that little finished look. So I'm just breaking off pieces here and filling in around here. Okay, like this. All right, now I'm going to add my little fence over here, I think. And then there's a little flower pot. And for right now, I'm just going to put moss in here. Sometimes I put a little hens and chicks, but it's really hard to keep these tiny pots watered. But that's kind of cute for just laying in there. Okay. And then I'm going to take some black rock, because the whole idea of this is we want to give it some interest. So you want a lot of different colors and textures. And of course you can arrange these, you know, however you want, but I'm just going to put them over here like this. Okay, and then I'm going to put my fairy, forgot to take the tag off, sitting here. Okay, and then there's a little sign for you as well, and I'm just going to put that right in front here. Like that. And like I said, you can arrange these however you would like, and I'm going to just put some rocks in the back for interest as well. And then I always save the tags because later on you're going to want to know what plants you used, and someone might come over to your house and ask you what they are, and then you'll be able to look because it's hard to remember. So then what I do is I just tuck all the tags in the back down here, kind of cover them up, but you know they're there if you need them. And so this is the little fairy garden. You want to do a close-up of that?
Cute.
Yes. And just use your imagination and create it exactly the way you want it. I mean, there's no right or wrong way. And what's fun about fairy gardens is you can collect things to add to them, especially if you have kids and grandkids. We oftentimes will use little acorn tops and set those in there. Those are cute. You can use little, and I have some of these little jewels too. Sometimes we make a little pond with these. So you could add, I'm not going to put these in, but these will be in your kit. And sometimes you can add, like, we kind of pile these up like this, and it makes like a little pond too. So there's all kinds of fun things you can do. Sometimes we take these and we glue them up in an acorn top and then run a little wire, and it's like a little lantern in there. So that's something you could make at home this summer. So